As Black women in the workplace, we have to move a lot differently than our non-Black counterparts. We always have to stay hyper vigilant. If you're new here, this is part 11 of my series, Black and Female in Corporate America. When I was working as a paralegal for a government agency, I had been asked to do some basic research and draft a memo on that research. For those of you who work in the legal field, you're all familiar with the acronym IRAC. It's a method that's used for legal writing. The acronym stands for Issue, Rule, Analysis, and Conclusion. This is important because I was in a meeting and with other attorneys, and my boss had asked me to look up this issue, do some research on it, and draft a memo. At the time, I'm working with one female attorney was in this division, then we had our paralegal and an admin, and the female attorney immediately just looked kind of taken aback that I had been asked to do this assignment. So the meeting ends, I go back to my desk, and the way this office was set up, we shared a space, myself and this other attorney, because there wasn't enough room for the entire department to be in one space. So I go back to my desk, and she goes back to her office, and she sends me an email, and she copies all the attorneys on it and starts out with, hey, if you need any help drafting, I'm happy to do it. And she brought up the IRAC method, and she said, this is something that we always use in writing, as if I had no clue what that was. And that's one of the first things you learn in paralegal school, or at least I did. We learned how to look up statutes. We learned how to do basic drafting of memos. And so it was pretty clear that she was trying to undermine and make it look like I needed help. I didn't even know where to start. And so I just replied back, thanks, I appreciate it. I'm aware of this method, and if I have any additional questions as I'm working through this, I'll let you know. So go ahead, do the research, draft up the memo. And again, later on that day, she's asking me, are you finished with it? Have you sent it to, our boss already? And I just said, oh yeah, he already has it, because I didn't send it to her because it was something my boss had asked me to do directly. And she seemed a little perturbed that I didn't email everyone and she was copied on it. So I'd emailed to the boss. She walks out of the space that we're sharing, and I knew she was going to the other department where everybody else shared a space. So I wait a few minutes, I get up and I go over there, and that's where we had like a mini fridge where you could keep your snacks and things like that. And so I go over there, I had brought something that day, brought some yogurt. I went over there to go and grab that out of the refrigerator. She's in our boss's office, and I could overhear her asking, oh, did she send that to you already? But she was trying to make it sound like she's just asking questions, and then have you looked at it yet? How did she do? And she didn't realize that I was in this space because she had her back turned to me the way my boss's office was set up. So at this point, I just kind of turned around, and he just looked up and he realized I was there, and he did this little eye thing with her, hey, she's here. And she kind of turned and looked at me, and she did this big fake smile, and she was like, oh, we were just talking about, the memo just to see if you got it done already. And my manager looked at me and he said, I've got it. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I'll give you feedback later on. And so I go back to, the space that I share with this attorney. And then she comes over, after all of that, and then tried to make conversation and act like she was just, trying to be helpful in all of this. But just another cautionary tale that in the workplace, we always have to be careful when people are offering to help us, because that's rare. It's another reminder that our potential can be a trigger. It's let me see what you can do. Let me see what you're capable of. Because again, when we're often hired, it's based off the assumption that we don't know anything. We don't have the capacity or the competency to do our job, but we do. And when we are tasked with something, a lot of times we're micromanaged. People try to hover over just to see how capable we are because they are afraid of our potential.